Okay, today's video is purely informative. To help everyone avoid being deceived, as someone who has personally experienced it, I will expose how psychiatric hospitals lure family members into their trap, step by step. First of all, if your family takes you to a psychiatric hospital for an examination, at this point, the outpatient doctor will subtly or implicitly give off a certain message. What message? They will suggest that this person's condition is already very severe. If you take them out of this hospital today, you will bear the consequences. Don't blame me for not warning you, I've already said what needs to be said. At this moment, many family members panic. They start thinking, doctors are professionals, aren't they? If the doctor says it's severe, then it must be severe. If I take them home today, and something really happens, what then? By that time, it will be too late for regrets. Since we're already here, might as well get them treated. So many uninformed family members, either tricked or intimidated, without even realizing it, end up signing the hospitalization paperwork. Then, once the patient is brought into the ward, what is the first thing that happens? All communication devices are confiscated. And what is the purpose of this? Simply put, they don't want you to collect evidence, because during the hospitalization they will threaten you, insult you, beat you, and subject you to various forms of abuse. You will end up covered in injuries. Especially female patients. Male doctors might touch you. So how do they prevent these things from being exposed? They must confiscate your phone. Otherwise, you might take photos, you might record videos, and in the future, you might sue them. Understand? This is why psychiatric hospitals do not allow mobile phones. It's not because using a phone will affect your condition or anything of the sort. Another thing I truly do not understand. Even if you were a criminal, even in prison, there is a fixed visitation schedule for family members. Right? But in psychiatric hospitals, it is extremely difficult to even see your family, because the doctors will go to great lengths to prevent you from meeting your family. If family members want to visit, the doctor will scare them. They will say, you shouldn't visit them. If you visit, it might cause emotional distress. Then all our treatment efforts will be wasted. We will have treated them for nothing. Visiting them will only harm them. At this point, the family members will comply. Forget about meeting them in person. Even if the patient just wants to make a phone call to their family, that is nearly impossible. During your first month of hospitalization, you will almost certainly not get a chance to make a phone call. Unless you act as a servant inside, cleaning up after other patients, emptying bedpans, helping the nurses with their work. Only then, maybe out of kindness, they might allow you a single phone call. Now, why are psychiatric hospitals so afraid of letting patients contact the outside world? Because they are afraid that patients will expose the reality of their treatment. They are afraid that patients will reveal the abuse they suffer. They are afraid that patients will seek help from the outside. They want you to be in there, screaming for help with no one to hear you. In this situation, if family members want to know the patient's real condition inside, they cannot hear it directly from the patient. They can only rely on the attending doctor. But think about it. These attending doctors want to meet their performance targets. They want to extend your hospitalization. They want to charge you more hospital fees. Do you think they would tell the truth? This is how these doctors behave. If they are in a good mood today, they might reply to your WeChat message. If they are in a bad mood, they might ignore you for an entire week. But since the patient is in their hands, most family members would not dare to offend the doctor. Instead, they have to beg and plead. Please, take good care of them. And at this moment, the doctor will give some half-hearted reassurance. Don't worry, I'll take care of them. Their condition has already improved inside the hospital, but don't even think about taking them out. If you take them out now, all our efforts will be wasted. You will have to bear the consequences yourself. These 4 words, bear the consequences, for all family members, is like hitting their weakest point. You understand? So the family members start thinking, the doctor said this much. We've already spent this much time on treatment. We can't just let all this effort go to waste. Since we're already here, let's just go along with it. And that is how many patients inside are driven insane or to death. This has already become a widespread social issue. I hope more people will pay attention to it. After all, you need to think about one crucial point. If psychiatric hospitals actually cured all these lunatics, then where would they find more lunatics to keep making money?